I have Mr. Victor on my left-hand side. Mr. Victor, you're welcome to the show.
Good morning, Tochi. Good morning, viewers.
And of course, I have Mr. Oku by my right-hand side. Mr. Oku, you're welcome to the show this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
I hope you're doing good today.
Definitely.
Okay, all right. Like I stated before, we'll be looking at two very interesting topics today. And the first on the list is Fulani herdsmen are criminals and not terrorists like the IPOB says the federal government. Now, the federal government stated that the rampaging Fulani herdsmen that have reportedly killed many people, raped women, as well as destroyed crops and farmlands in some parts of the north, the middle belt, and even the southeastern regions are not terrorists but simply criminals. Now, defending the proscription of the IPOB group, the FG insisted that the group is a terrorist organization because it has carved out a territory within Nigeria for its members. Now, Mr. Victor, let me ask you this question. What do you think about this? The statement by the federal government saying that the Fulani herdsmen are mere criminals and not terrorists like the IPOB group. What do you think about that?
I think I don't blame the man who said this. I only blame the leaders of these various states, because if they are swung into action during this herdsmen invasion, I think the federal government would have acted. Because I remember Buhari saying that this state shouldn't attack this, they shouldn't do any counter-attack on these herdsmen, that they shouldn't take laws into their hands. And that has given these people so much power, so much strength to do more harms. And the security agencies as well, they've not been up and well doing, because I don't see any reason why a cattle rearer should be going about with AK-47, because the cattle rearers I knew back then, they only work with a stick, and right now you see them with different kinds of weapons. So I don't blame the Adesina himself or Gabashewu, because APC now, they keep playing politics with everything, and whenever they do something wrong, you see them coming with another lie to defend themselves. So this is what's happening right now. I don't know, somebody carrying a weapon, you say they're just a criminal. Okay, criminal gang, if they're a criminal, is that not an offense? What has been done to these people? Because these people, being a criminal is a criminal offense, so you have to also prosecute them. But the federal government are yet to do anything. These people, they keep going about wandering freely on every part of Nigeria. I think some governors, I think Ayafo Sheikh did an anti-grazing bill in Ekiti State.
Okay.
And I remember being the state governor, Otom, he did something like that, though he later reversed it.
Okay.
And so these are some of the things that some of the eastern governors would have done. I remember in Delta State, the herdsmen also, they carried out some attacks, and there was the present attack by the indigenous of some communities in Delta State. So if the various states have swung into action without waiting on the federal government, I don't think this would come up now.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Now over to you, Mr. Oku. What do you think about the statement made by the FG saying that the Fulani herdsmen are just criminals and not terrorists like the IPOB group?
It's very difficult to want to join issues with the federal government.
Okay.
Why do I say this? Because I think that statement is laughable. Because the International Terror Index reported that Fulani herdsmen was the fourth largest or deadly terrorist group in the world. That is the International Terror Index.
Okay.
And now the federal government is saying that this group is not a terrorist group, rather they are mere criminals.
Okay.
I mean, what's the sense in all of this? The problem is that if a reputable international body comes up with a statistic and they don't just say these things, it's because they've done their investigations, they've done their research, and they've come up with this report. It behoves on the federal government to take this report very seriously. But here we have a situation where the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, is saying a different thing, and some members of government, including the Attorney General of Federation, is saying something different. I think it's an affront to the collective intelligence of Nigerians, and it's because maybe these Fulani herdsmen are actually emanating from a specific region. That is why it appears as though their interest is being protected, and that's very sad for a federation that Nigeria is supposedly running. So I would say that Nigerians should examine this issue critically. In fact, to even make matter worse is the fact that these Fulani herdsmen have killed more people in Nigeria in the last 2 years than any other group. That's the report that's available. And
Okay,
I'm very much
hold
aware.
on a second. Let's take this call before you continue. Sorry. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and location.
My name is Iwuchukwu. I'm calling from Sweden.
Mr. Iwuchukwu calling from Sweden. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome to the show. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you, my people. Just that Nigerian problem, the hatred the Hausa Fulani have for Igbos, terrible. I don't know what was our trend.
Why do you say so?
I live in this country. Hello?
I said, go ahead. Why do you say so? Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Okay.
I've lived in this country for almost 16 years now.
Okay.
I don't know where they have an army camp.
Okay.
But it was last week, I was driving my son to go and play football. My son showed me, Daddy, this is army barracks. I said, what? Yeah, I've been passing every day. He said, yes. So why do I say this is that the army is meant to protect the country, not to fight your people. People you call your people.
Okay.
All this magic they did in Owaya and Aba is intimidation. Completely intimidation. Are you with me?
Yes, please go ahead. We are with you. Go ahead, please.
If they love us as their people, as a human being like them, they will not use army to take away people.
Okay. Okay.
It's completely wrong in human life. I don't know what is wrong with we black people. I don't understand. We don't value our life. We forgot that the ammunition you are using, the television you are watching, the telephone you are using is made by human beings. It's made by human beings. Which means human beings first. But in our case, we choose to kill ourselves. We choose to kill who we call our brother. We choose to kill who we call our sister. Which is very, very wrong. All these things you see is that they are trying to brand us black in the way to kill us. The whole mass in Nabikalo, almost 2 years, they didn't come up with any evidence. So all these things they are doing is just to, change, to disgrace themselves and to make a fool out of themselves.
Okay.
I'm a Biafran. I'm a Biafran man. So nobody will tell me I'm a terrorist. I never seen it happen.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much. Keep on keeping on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Iwuchukwu. We appreciate your contribution. Okay, back to you, Mr. Oku. You were saying something.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, I have to say that again.
Okay.
The International Terror Index, which is very reputable of monitoring terrorist activities around the world, came up with the statistics that the Fulani herdsmen is the number 4th most deadliest group in the world, not just in Nigeria. And here we have a federal government who is very hesitant in declaring this group a terrorist group. Rather, they would rather prefer to declare a group that is agitating peacefully for self-determination as a terrorist group. And some people were even making fun of these. They were saying that these people you declared terrorist group were the same people who went to the UN General Assembly in New York to protest. And the president of US never ordered for their arrest. Even the UN members there never ordered for their arrest. So you can imagine the mockery and the ridicule that the current Nigerian government is bringing to the people. I think it's very shameful, especially when we are very much aware that the international community, in fact the world, is watching at us. They're looking at us, and they're saying that the way we do our things, it's far from civilization. Now again, during that UN meeting, you saw that Trump had a meeting with some African leaders.
Okay.
Now, I doubt if President Trump would have had a meeting with all European leaders, but he had a single meeting with 10 African leaders. Why did he not have this meeting with individual African leaders? Like Nigerian leader, he's having a meeting directly with them. He had to bring all of them together. That's to tell you how they rate Africans. President Trump cannot call all the European leaders consisting of maybe the French president, or the German chancellor, or the Russian president, and then put all of them in one room for a meeting. He can't do that. But we saw what happened when it came to the issue of Africa. That is because of how African leaders have been conducting themselves and have been conducting the affairs of their states.
Okay, so if I may ask, how have they been conducting the affairs of the state? Talking about African leaders.
It is very, very obvious.
Okay.
Now, when the federal government come out to declare peaceful agitation, people who are carrying out peaceful agitation as a terrorist group, when everyone knows the definition of a terrorist or terrorist group, as well as the activities, it shows that something is wrong. Because, like people have been saying all over the place, these people protested the same way they've been protesting in Nigeria outside the UN General Assembly, and nothing happened to them.
Okay?
And I believe that leaders of the world were aware that these people are there. You understand? Okay. And so for our leaders to blatantly come out to declare this group a terrorist group, I think it's a mockery. And like I said yesterday on this program, some human rights lawyers are saying that it's a gross violation of the rights of people to assemble peacefully, and of course the freedom of speech, and that pronouncement should not go unchallenged. So I'm expecting these guys, like one senior advocate of Nigeria yesterday mentioned, to head to the courts to challenge that decision of government.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oku. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and location.
Yeah, my name is Chikwemeka. I'm calling you from Germany.
Okay, Mr. Chikwemeka calling from Germany.
Thank you, people, for the good work you guys are doing there.
Okay, you're welcome.
I want to contribute one or two things to the topic you have this morning.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Please go ahead.
What I want to say is the problem of Nigeria and the way things are going now is caused by Buhari himself and his fellow Northerners. Buhari is an able man. Buhari is so selfish. I don't even know what to use to describe Buhari, because everything that started now, he is the one causing it. One thing I want to say is, if you put these Fulani herdsmen since Buhari took power, they have been carrying light arms, killing people left and right. These have never even come out one day and condemn it. That shows you that he is in support of it, and the Northerners are even in support of it. No, not all the Northern elders, they have never come up and said, let's let these Fulani before they put us into problem. But rather, they try a way to avoid them. Rather, they are telling people to give them their land free of charge so that they can occupy and kill more people. Labeling IPOB terrorist organization and thereby shooting the Fulani just criminal. Much people in Nigeria that Nigeria is. Two, to start, another thing I want to say is the judge himself that allowed himself to be used to label IPOB as a terrorist organization, that should be sacked. That man should be judged, and nobody should trust judgment he passed. That will be wrong to let that man to continue as a judge in Nigeria. Another one I want to say is, look at the Operation Python now. It is unconstitutional. It is illegal. Then when they massacred a lot of, and now they say they want peace. When you offend somebody and you say you want peace, you sincerely apologize.
Okay.
But these people, instead of apologizing, as I'm talking to you now, there is a very concrete information how they plan to kill between 5,000 to 1 million Biafrans from the southeast and south-south. As I speak to you now, till 2019. These are the people who say they want peace.
Sorry, Mr. Chukwuemeka. Has that report been confirmed? Hello?
You sure?
I said, given to what you just said, that there are reports that the Nigerian army is plotting to kill Biafrans. Have you confirmed that report?
That report is 101% accurate.
Okay.
And these are the things that will further divide Nigeria. Why are they doing all those type of things?
Please, may I ask what is the source of your information? Hello? Sorry, Mr. Chukwuemeka. May I ask you what is the source of your information, please? Would like to know the source of your information.
I don't need to tell you the source of information, but look, watch it out is going to play out.
Okay.
And they have also planned to burn a lot of their mosques in their land. They plan to burn, kill even some of their own people. And
okay. All right. Thank you.
And that there's like
hello.
Biafran has been enough.
Okay. Hello. Oh, sorry, we lost that call. Please call us back. Oh well, that was a strong one coming from Mr. Chukwuemeka. He said that there are reports that the Nigerian army plans on killing Biafrans, or will I say IPOB members. I don't know. That's an unconfirmed report. So, okay, let's take another call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and location.
Good morning, my people. Calling from Thailand.
Okay, caller from Thailand. We didn't get your name, but you can go ahead, please. What's your contribution to our show this morning?
Yeah, what is really happening in Nigeria is something else.
Okay.
Because I don't think the reason why they declare because people as a terrorism, because that is a cause or whatever. We are talking about no people. The people was declared as a terrorist. This is unfair.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you please speak up? We can barely hear you. Please be audible so we can hear you clearly.
Hello? You say what?
I said please be audible so we can hear you clearly. We can barely hear you from the studio.
Yeah, so it is unfair for Nigeria to declare people as a terrorist.
They didn't declare Igbo people as terrorists per se. They declared IPOB group as a terrorist organization and not Igbo people.
IPOB group is an Igbo people. Any Igbo person is involved.
Not all Igbos. Sorry, sir. Not all Igbos are IPOB members. If I may correct you, not all Igbos are IPOB members. Indirectly? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
You are an Igbo man. You are a Biafran. So as you are an Igbo man, yes, also as a Igbo man and Igbo man, they declare you as a terrorist, as a teacher and what is to happen. They don't. Our leaders here, governors and other people.
Okay.
Because they are eating from Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, caller. We appreciate your call. Thank you so much for your contribution. Oh my God, that was a strong call coming from that caller. He said that the federal government declared all Igbos as terrorists because every Igbo person is indirectly an IPOB member. What do you think about that, Mr. Victor? Let me ask you.
I don't know. I think that is only a personal opinion.
Ooh,
because
okay.
For one, I might come from the south.
Okay.
And in as much as I'm not in support of the way they go about they agitate for their own referendum.
Okay.
It's for them, not everybody. Like the Niger Deltans, when they had their own agitation,
okay.
It was some of the Igbo leaders then, people like Ojukwu, that actually fought against them because then he was still serving Nigerian government. So they were never in support of Niger Delta Republic in 1966. So not everybody right now, but they share that opinion that every Niger Delta is part of Biafra. That is their own opinion though, because going back to history, 1966 when the likes of Isaac Dapa, when they came out with their own self-determination, Ojukwu was then a military governor in the eastern part of Nigeria. He got involved in the 12 days battle with this, and that was when the Niger Delta Republic regime died off. So not everybody is a Biafran.
Not every Igbo.
Not every Igbo rather
is an IPOB member. Yes. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and location.
Yeah, it's Victor calling from Lagos.
Okay, Mr. Victor calling from Lagos. You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, please go ahead with your contribution. Hello, Mr. Victor.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, well, what I want to say on this issue is that, you see, we in Nigeria is unfortunately, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
Hello? Hello,
So, what
Mr.
I'm trying to
Victor?
say is-
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, please make it fast. You have barely 1 minute. Please make it fast. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Okay, what I'm trying to say is that, see, I think it's high time we start telling ourselves the truth here in Nigeria. Understand? Because now, yes, I'm an Igbo man. That doesn't mean I got to be against my people.
Okay.
I think we all know the truth and we all know the full meaning of terrorism. And I think even the Hausa men know the truth themselves. The truth is that we Igbos, we don't beg to be in Nigeria. You don't want those people to rule. You don't want them to stay in Nigeria and do their business. You don't want them to feel, comfortable in Nigeria as citizens. And you don't want them to go. You understand? I'm in Lagos. If I tell you what we pass through here in this Lagos as Igbo men, you will pity us. Most major markets here in Nigeria today, here in Lagos, being handled by Igbo people are being demolished. Tomorrow you wake up one early morning and you say, here, they are born everywhere. We are in Nigeria, it's as if we are strangers. You understand? I'm a citizen of Nigeria, but it's as if I'm a stranger in Nigeria. When you go to the Republic, you feel comfortable, you feel relaxed. I think Nigeria declaring Biafra terrorists, I laugh at them. You know why I laugh at them?
No.
Even the people you are declaring terrorists, they are protesting harmless.
Okay.
Nothing with them, understand? And you are declaring them terrorists. Now ask yourself a question. The Hausa Fulani, are they terrorists? So I will not answer that question. The Boko Haram, are they terrorists? I will not answer that question. Buhari himself knows the truth. You know the truth. I know the truth.
Okay.
The truth is that most of all those things happening, we leave it for God to fight. But one thing is sure, you can only arrest people man. You can even torture people man. You can even kill him. But the truth is that you can never kill his spirit. Whenever an Igbo man is fighting for his right, believe me, he doesn't fear death. It can only take time. But this Biafra issue will come to pass. For the military men,
Okay,
all those
thank
guys
you.
see, protecting themselves with speech and boxing, doesn't mean they don't know how to handle God.
All right,
I
thank
only
you.
want to urge the military to follow them peacefully, because when you push an Igbo man, while Igbo man is coming back, you never imagine what will come back.
All right,
You
all
can
right.
God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Thank you so much. We appreciate your contribution. Okay, now this statement coming from the federal government, it came up about because as a result of the mountain pressure coming from various quarters of the country, like I said earlier, to also declare Fulani herdsmen as terrorist group, just like what happened to the IPOB group. Now, also in reaction to this, the president's spokesman, Garba Shehu, who made this statement, admitted that the Fulani herdsmen are actually criminals or could be termed criminals. But despite that, their activities are not similar to that of a terrorist group like IPOB, which he said operates like Boko Haram. So I want to ask you, Mr. Prince, what's the difference between the activities of the IPOB and the Fulani herdsmen? And then again, the similarities, like the federal government alleged that the IPOB activities are similar to that of Boko Haram. Can you really name the activities that you feel could be termed similar to that of the Boko Haram insurgent group?
It's not about what I feel, it's about what we all know.
Okay.
Yes, and the difference is crystal clear. You don't need anyone to tell you. Even the children on the streets, they know what the distinguishing factors are. Now, the major difference, I would say, is that whereas the IPOB members are going about their agitations peacefully,
Okay.
the Fulani herdsmen, they don't even have any agitation. And they decide to even act as terrorists because they're wielding guns they are wielding live ammunition, and their aim and intention is to bring down their victims.
Okay.
So if I may ask these people who are branding the Fulani herdsmen criminals, just mere criminals, what are they fighting for? You understand?
Okay.
They don't have a leader. They don't have any ideology. Theirs is to maim and kill and cause damage. So they don't even have any reason for doing this. They are, in fact, they are terrorists, like the International Index reported.
Okay.
So, like I said, the problem we are having is that when the head is bad, other parts are certainly going to be dysfunctional. And that's the consequence, or the consequences that we are suffering today.
Okay.
Now, during the campaign in Nigeria, I could recall very vividly the governor of Ekiti State went to some national dailies, and of course he even granted live interview where he said that the president didn't have the qualification in terms of academic background, and that his SSCE was not even intact, that he failed some of his subjects, and that he wasn't fit to man the #1 position of this country. And some Nigerians were saying that even if he has NEPA bill, he should put that forward. It was so sad that a country as vast, a country where critical decisions will be taken, somebody who is not academically equipped would be enthroned to pilot the affairs of such country. And even after he emerged, there was still a lawsuit. And the president mobilized about 10 or thereabouts senior advocates of Nigeria just to defend SSC results. Something was fishy about that. Why do you need up to 10 or even 5 sons to defend that you had SSCE? So these are the spiraling consequences that we are suffering today, because when Goodluck was in the saddle of authority, when he knew how to negotiate, that was why he set up the National Confab, to see how people could negotiate their future. It's unfortunate that after he left government, the current administration dumped the report of that confab, National Confab, in the dustbin. And so we're having a lot of issues that we're grappling with. And those at the heads of affairs cannot read through the lines to understand that this is not business as usual. They have to display some level of genius to solve some of these problems. That's the reason we are suffering this. Because people have been reacting to this issue of why is the government hesitant on declaring Fulani herdsmen terrorists? And you would see Garba Shehu come out to say this kind of things he's saying. I think it's juvenile, those words from him. It's not making sense to Nigerians. And with every day, they're coming to add salt to injury. It's like they're even saying worse things. You would expect that they would make amends for the previous things they've said, but you wake up to very strange and obnoxious things that they're saying. So I think this issue is making Nigerians get fed up. It's becoming sickening, and I don't just know what to say. But I'd like to say that it's now in the hands of Nigerians to determine their destiny. Nigerians don't take these statements that they make seriously anymore, because it is lacking in fundamental principles, it's lacking in truth, and everybody, like I said, knows the definition of terrorist. Now, if you were to take the dictionary definition of terrorist, we would know who should fall in that categorization as a terrorist. So Nigerians don't need the federal government to come out and tell them who a terrorist is, because the world over, we all know who the real terrorists are.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ku. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the show. Please tell us your name and location.
Yeah, my name is Obina. I'm calling from Mozambique.
Obina calling from where, please?
Yeah, I want to speak.
Sorry, we did not hear. We did not hear your location, Mr. Obina. Please tell us your location.
I said I want to make a contribution about the IPOB Facebook. Why are the herdsmen taking that guy?
Okay, okay, go ahead.
say that you see the reason that the Eastern region, Southern region, you have lost every trust in the government for the government that they score and organization. Why are they for their hands and watching and watch things go wrong in Nigeria? Go wrong for people and not being quiet and look like if they have put death in the hands of how can you expect support our leader and yet go to the hands
Sorry, we can barely hear you from the studio. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
I said that how can our leader, so-called Southeast governors, hold their hand and watch out for the change the whole people because if you are an equal man, like one of the fastest, you are the Biafra.
Okay.
You are the Biafra because if it is trying to take people today, we are the masses, we are going to win that referendum. And once we win it, you are the Biafra. So if this supposed to declare us as a terrorist, make it nation. There's no terrorist that need to vote for them because terrorists and we are not going to vote. I don't see the reason that they will be there. Notify us, the government of the state. Somehow make a statement. I sometimes we go up even things. But none of them that should power and start this governor, or none of them make any issue of that. Even I have to think that they are the ones that get into a ahead of that declare IPOB a terrorist. But one thing I show is that one day, when the revolution is going to rise in stability, and all of them are going to run away from that stability. They are pushed out to the wall. They are pushed out to the wall because there is one of our aspects of the program that said that if you push a go to the wall, you don't know what to do. You fight you. And that is what we are going to do to them. Because they are we are already taking enough of messages of them. They are already taken enough of messages of them. Telling you the truth. Enough is enough because I don't know if this type of is from northern region. Can you expect the northern areas to agree with our governor to declare them terrorist group? I mean, that's not going to happen.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Our governor, we are very, very angry because I don't see the reason this Nigeria is going to work. When there is rage, the place, everybody, even not so-called not elders, they want them. About their own people. You care about us. So our leaders also don't care about us. So we did get a we put place that revolution, and they are going to run away from that institution.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution. Okay, that was a strong one. All right, Mr. Victor, I want to ask you the same question I asked Mr. Oku now. Can you really give a difference from the activities of the IPOB to the activities of the Fulani herdsmen that would warrant the IPOB to be branded as terrorists, whereas the Fulani herdsmen are branded as criminals? What can you really make up the difference?
I don't think there's a... Because the activities of these parties are different.
Okay.
Whereas one person is fighting for his or her freedom, the other person is busy. The other person was kind of sent to depopulate the other region because now, see, this administration has shown that it's about religion and tribalism. Now, like someone said, our president is just a Muslim, is a fanatic when it comes to his religion, and them killing other regions, they don't see it as a sin because they believe that anybody who doesn't share their own belief is an infidel, and that's the whole thing that has been happening. So all these people coming out to say that to defend the presidency is all encompassed in the propaganda of the APC-led administration. That's why they're doing this whole thing. Everybody knows, like Mr. Oku said, we don't even need the international bodies to give us the statistics or to tell us that the herdsmen should be branded as a terrorist because we all know the activities here. So it has clearly been shown that these people are just terrorists.
Okay.
So we don't need an international body.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Let's take another call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, it seems the caller is not aware that he's already on to us. Okay, now, Gabushe, who also said that the Fulani herdsmen, like he said before, they are a criminal gang and are being dealt with according to the law. Now, Mr. Oku, has there been any case of the Fulani herdsmen being hunted, arrested, or even tried by the security agencies? Just like what the federal government has claimed, or the presidential spokesman has claimed, that they are being dealt with according to the law. I mean, we've not really heard of any reported case that the Fulani herdsmen are being hunted or even arrested. Now, what can you say about that?
I think Garba Shehu is increasingly proving himself unworthy of the people's trust. Because to the best of my knowledge, I am not aware of any arrest or any prosecution in courts involving any Fulani marauder or headsman. I don't know whether you are aware of anyone, but I have not seen it reported. I have not seen any legal proceedings filed against these killers. So at this point, I would like to say that Garba Shehu is very notorious for making lots of blunder. He's made lots and lots of blunder, more than any other presidential spokesperson that I've ever known in this country. And it baffles me that the president is very happy and comfortable still having him around as his aide. And one thing that is sacrosanct is that when you have a spokesperson, a presidential spokesperson, he contributes to the image of his principal and of course to how the public perceive the government of the day. From the inception of this administration, here is a man who has been making contradictory comments. Sometimes the media have been awash with his very biased comments. Sometimes he will make the mistake, make the blunder, and then come back to retract it, and then say that it was a slip of tongue or something. That's not the first time. He's so used to this, and it contributes to the embarrassment that members or Nigerians suffer daily with this government that is put together. It shows that perhaps the APC government was never prepared for leadership. They didn't know that the task of leading a diverse and a country of well over 170 million Nigerians, you needed a team of people who were competent, who were well-versed, and who understood the nitty-gritty of governance. So sometimes what he comes out to say is usually very shallow. It is lacking in wisdom. And I think it's very, very unfortunate. Now, I'd like to speak very briefly about the comment of the last caller. I think from what he's saying, he's saying that the Igbo governors are indeed complicit. For me, I think these governors are deliberately sabotaging the efforts of their people. Because you would see Fayoshe all the way from the west speak for the Igbos, and the Igbo governors are not saying anything about it. And these are the same governors who were elected by the people who are undergoing these trials right now. So I sense that these people, these leaders, don't love their people. They are only there for their financial benefit, and as long as they're enjoying this money, they don't care. Whoever dies, whoever is attacked, they don't care about it at all. Because from the inception of the Fulani herdsmen attack, the eastern governors ought to have sent a very strong warning to the country and of course to the government. But they were just partying around with the government of the day and not supporting their own people. It's quite unfortunate that these kind of individuals would come out to be the governors of different states.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Oku. Let's take this call before we round off. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, we lost that call. All right, please call us back if you're still watching. Okay, viewers, that will be all for the first topic, and we'll be going on a very short break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the second topic we have today. So please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you a business tycoon, a young entrepreneur, or a small business owner? Do you know that with as low as 1,000 naira, you could advertise your product to over 3,000 Nigerians? Oh yes, it is no magic. All you need to do, visit us today at www.234ads.com or call 090 916218
Okay, viewers, welcome back. It's still Good Morning Nigeria, brought to you by News TV, and we'll be looking at the second topic we have today, which is President Muhammadu Buhari reportedly leaves New York for scheduled medical appointments in London. Now, according to reports, the President Muhammadu Buhari will depart the United States for London, where he is scheduled to meet with his doctors on Saturday, September 23. Now, this is coming after the President addressed the world leaders on Tuesday at the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly that was held in New York. Now, the President is reported to spend 4 days in New York, or sorry, in London rather. He's spent 4 days in London, and the presidency is yet to disclose for what reason he will be spending up to 4 days in London. Now, recall that the president had earlier left the country on May 7 to the UK on his second medical vacation, where he stayed over 100 days before he returned on the 19th of August. Now, let's ask you this question, Mr. Oku. What do you think about the president's trip to London barely 1 month after he came back from his previous medical trip? What do you think about this?
Tochi, it's a continuing attempt by this APC to continue to drag the high task of governance into disrepute.
Okay.
Now, you know that up to this point, we do not even know what sickness is ailing the president.
Okay. And
on Friday, Femi Adesina, his media person, did come out to say that the president will be jetting out to New York for the UN General Assembly, and en route to New York, he would be going to the UK for an undisclosed reason. But every Nigerian knows that the president is going out there for medical attention. You know that as at the time the president was forced back to Nigeria, it was not the time he intended to come. It was after the protests there in the UK where some Nigerians in diaspora had a vigil. They had a vigil there that he must leave the country or he resigns his office. That was what propelled him, that was what forced him to rush to Nigeria the following morning.
Okay.
So he needed to go back to the UK to attend to his health. We know that the president is not very fit and that he's undergoing a lot of medical attention. But the problem Nigerians are having every day is the fact that this administration do not want to disclose the sickness that is ailing the president. And beyond that, the president is going to a foreign land, and the handlers of the president don't even deem it fit to let the Nigerian people know for what purpose their employer is leaving the country. Nigerians are actually the ones paying for these medical bills, paying for his trip, and they think it's not necessary that these people should know what is happening to the president.
Okay, Mr. Sorry to cut short. Let's take this call before we continue. Hello, good morning. We lost the call. All right, you can call us back if you're still watching, please. Okay, go ahead.
So, like I've been saying on this show, it's born out of the fact that the leaders feel that they can use the people the way they like. They can toss them around. A president is spending 4 days outside the country, and he feels it's not even necessary, it's not pertinent to let his followers know the reason why he's visiting the UK. That is so sad. That shows how the APC administration holds the ordinary Nigerians, or all Nigerians, if I have to say this. They feel that certain information should not be disclosed to Nigerians, and they can't do anything about it, so they can do the way they like.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oku. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good morning. You're welcome to the show.
Yes, my name is Kevin Douglas. I am calling from Malaysia.
Okay, Mr. Calvin Douglas, you're welcome to the show.
Yes, thank you so much for the program. You guys have wonderful work. Comment was good. You guys, what you guys are doing over there.
All right.
Thank you so much. So, the two contribution I need to contribute on this issue, first and foremost, and the diaspora, so that when I want to say something I need to say, I will go straight to the point. Number one, our Southeast governor, if you watch them,
please, Mr. Douglas, can you speak up so we can hear you clearly from the studio? up, be audible so we can hear you from the studio, please.
Okay, what I'm saying is this. About Southeast governors, what is happening to them, when you watch what is going on there, even at the state governor, okay, say Mazo, he's not the right person that won the election. So, whatever thing he's doing, he's there to serve the outer Fulani that put him there. So that's the reason why they are there for their own personal interest. They are there for their family and friends. They don't care for the masses. That's the reason why. That's the reason why things are happening like that in our land, in Biafra land. That one apart. Like what our president, the president of school called Nigeria that went to the United Nations to mess up over there. It's very wrong for him. That shows that he's not a man of, he's not a leader. He's not a man of the leadership. Buhari has no, imagine Buhari can go outside and sympathize for Muslim people in Myanmar, killing Christians in Nigeria, killing Biafrans. It's a shame to Buhari and Nigerian government. See, Buhari is there to Islamize Nigeria. The issue of Nigeria is not Biafra or not. The issue of Nigeria is a religious issue. Buhari wants to wipe out Christians in Nigeria and let Muslims dominate Nigeria. That is the problem of no Biafra. Nigeria should wake up. This issue of Islamization, if Buhari can go outside and condemn what is happening in Muslim world, like what is happening in Myanmar, Buhari cannot condemn what is happening in Nigeria. It's a shameful thing to Buhari and his government.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Calvin Douglas. We appreciate your contribution. Okay, thank you. Now, to you, Mr. Victor, what do you think about this current trip of the president? No, you remember the fact that there has been a lot of controversies about the state of health of the president while he was in London for his previous medical vacation, and even when he came back to Nigeria, people were still skeptical about his state of health. Now, what do you think about this his current trip again to London, just barely 1 month after he returned?
Well, Tochi, I think I welcome his medical leave for now. I think it's a good one for Nigerians, if, like, from my own opinion, because if the president wasn't in the country, I think if he had stayed back, the recent killings wouldn't have occurred, because nobody he wouldn't have dished out the orders while outside the country. So because it clearly shows that we all know that the man is not fit, but why is it taking time? Why are the lawmakers buying more time to dish out the constitution to this man? Now I respect there's what they call patient-doctor relationship. So in as much as he is a public figure, they wouldn't want to disclose his ailments. But there is this patient-doctor relationship where the doctor can keep whatever thing is wrong with the patient. So I don't fault the presidency for not disclosing the ailment of the president.
So are you justifying the fact that the presidency has insisted on keeping the state of health of the president a secret from the Nigerian population?
Fine, we know he's sick. We all know he's sick. Now there's our constitution, like people say, it's flawed though, but there are provisions for them. When you say that this man is not fit, dish out the constitution to him, then let him leave the office. Why are they taking time? Because they don't want to disclose the ailment, and we know he's sick. Everybody, the whole world knows our president is not fit to run this government. So they disclose or not, he should just sit, he should just resign and let some other person take. But him stay, if he wishes to stay for another 3-4 months, it's good. I think Nigeria can have a bit of peace, because he has been the one giving out orders to the military men, because he's the head of state. Now, from the recent judgment passed by the Federal High Court yesterday, the man said the president already signed it before leaving for this for the UN Congress. So if he was out, he wouldn't have signed that thing, and things like this wouldn't have happened. So for me, it's a welcome one that our president is out of the country for now, so we can enjoy a bit of peace.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Victor. Now, Mr. Oku, now given to this current trip of the president, do you think it's going to raise suspicion that the president has not fully recovered from his ailment that is still yet to be known to Nigerians? Do you think it's going to raise more suspicion?
It's not about suspicion. It is very clear that there is no need to want to suspect. The president, it's only his handlers that came out to say that he's fit. It's because they want to remain in government and they don't want to see that their boss resigns from office for somebody who is more capable who has a very sound health to continue directing the affairs of states.
Okay.
So it's very obvious that the president is not fit. That's why he's been on series of medical vacation outside Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, like I've been saying, it's also an affront to the country that the president cannot fix his medical department. He cannot. We know that we have lots of flawed medical facilities in this country. We see situations where medical doctors leave Nigeria to diaspora, where they're better paid, where they don't need to embark on strike before they can have good conditions of service, and where they can be proud of their profession. Here they're disrespected, they are owed their allowance and their salaries, and the people, the rich class, believe that when they are sick, they can jet out of the country to countries where people have been so meticulous to fix their healthcare system. I think those in government should be very ashamed of themselves, including at the highest level, because there people have made the health sector very decent, very comfortable, very reassuring. You can be sure that they won't kill you when you get there, because you won't have electricity failure. There are some machines that can be used here in Nigeria because you might just rely on electricity and power to function. So these are the reasons why these people, these so-called leaders, leave the country to seek medical attention outside Nigeria. And then next time somebody comes to campaign for vote, I think these are the sort of questions Nigerians should begin to ask. You want us to vote you so that while you go abroad to seek medical attention, if I'm sick, I will have to remain here and die here because I don't have the means to leave the country. These are very important questions. And I think if we had lawmakers who were more conscious about their people, who cared more about the welfare of their people, I think political leaders, one of the conditions for them to even be elected should be that they should be barred for seeking medical attention outside the country. They must take it as a point of duty to fix the health facilities so that it will be available for other millions of Nigerians who will not have the opportunity to leave the country. And I think if such motions are raised, it's going to be for the best interest of Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oku. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari reportedly had a meeting with the U.S. President Donald Trump during his visit to New York as a result of the UN General Assembly Convention. And now he revealed the conversation, the content of the conversation, saying that they had discussed the U.S. support for Nigeria, especially in the area of corruption and terrorism. Now, I'd like to ask you, Mr. Oku, one last question. In what ways do you think the U.S. can be of help to Nigeria, given to the current situation in the country right now?
I think the president should try as much as he can to conduct wide consultations before going for such high-level meetings. The problem of Nigerians right now is not corruption. I must say that, because this APC have been floating this corruption agenda, and it's not helping anybody. We have a broken economy. We have an economy that is going into recession, or already in recession. You understand? Because of misguided economic policies of this government. I would have expected that, considering the fact that Donald Trump is an established businessman, he's a billionaire businessman, he's delved into a series of business, he has succeeded, that the president would discuss some economic formulas that will lift Nigeria out of this recession. We are having a situation where the dollar is in a very shameful level with the naira. These are the sort of things where they can return the value of the naira, maybe 200 naira to $1. Those are the kind of things Nigerians are looking for. Because if people do not have food to eat, the issue of corruption does not even arise. And we have seen the attempts of this administration when they tell us that they're fighting corruption. What has that really profited this administration? They have said that the last administration was reeled with corruption, but we had a very stable economy. We had the #1 economy in Africa, #3 fastest growing in the world. These were international statistics that were dished out for the world over to see. We had more investors then than we're having now. We had a fledgling and flourishing agricultural sector. We're not having all of these things. Some companies have folded and have left Nigeria. These are the sort of things, the kind of discussions we would expect the president of this country to be having with world leaders who have perform the same formula in their own country and people are happy. They're happier there.
Okay.
But talking about corruption, I think it's vague. I don't know how the US can possibly come help us with corruption. Because for me, corruption for me in Nigeria in this current dispensation is just a slogan and it's not helping anybody.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Oku. Now, to you, Mr. Victor, I'd like to ask you the same question. Now, in what ways do you think the U.S. can be of help to Nigeria in the current situation of the country? Talking about the crisis, the agitation, and all what have you that we are currently going through in the country. What do you think the United States can actually do for us to help us?
Well, I think they can as well, the United States can as well help our lawmakers here to be conversant with their constitution and know when to apply them. Because right now, what we really need is a stable economy, like Mr. Oku said. And to get that, we need a functioning government to actually look into the affairs of the country. But because this is our government now, the head, right from the federal, they don't even care about the people. All they care about is their own pocket. And if the federal government wants to seek help from the United States, they should tell them, fine, in fact, they should let the citizens make their decision, take decision. Because now, one of the things clean up is the leaders faulting the same constitution they are to live by. And now the oath of office, they don't even regard it anymore. Like Oku said, imagine a president going away for medical checkup while we have functioning hospitals in Nigeria here. If they don't, I think the oath of office should be done by the citizens, whereby when you fault your oath, when you disobey, then the people can take actions on their own without waiting for any constitution, because it shows that our lawmakers are not taking the constitution into consideration.
Okay.
I don't know if that is actually what our president went there to discuss with that man, because Donald Trump now, I think he has shown that all he wants is independence. Just go and develop your own state. That is what he wants. He doesn't want to be of help to any community, any African community. All he wants them to do, go back and fix your country. He's busy fixing America right now. And I remember when he came into office, he had to, a day or two after inauguration, he assembled his team of members, and they were sworn into action. But why is it that African leaders, they go to this man, they see how he does things, but when they come back, they fail to put those things into action? I think you should just tell them, fix your country yourself. And when you fail to do that, then we can invite the international bodies to come help you up other acts of terrorism, not even corruption, like Prince said. Okay. Corruption is just a word in Nigeria. Because the real corruption now, APC administration, I think they've monopolized that word corruption. They breed corruption now. It's all about them. It's written in them. This is what they do, corruption, not even the citizens, just the APC administration. They are the one to fight themselves because they are the corrupt people.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Oku, Mr. Victor, rather. Okay, viewers, that brings us to the end of the show today. All right, we'll be here with you again on Monday. So we urge you to please do enjoy the rest of your day, and of course, enjoy your weekend. We'll be right back on Monday, same time, same station in News TV. So please do take care. Bye-bye.
At www.234ads.org or call 090 9162 1850.